but you can see her hair actually grew. We talked before, smoothing treatment, defrizzes, adds shine, builds health back into the hair, customizable for any and all clients. Let's talk about our first step. What do you guys think the first step is? Consultation. One of the very first people to actually get that right. Most people say shampoo, right? Shampooing is technically the first actual step. But what do we do with any client that sits in the chair? What do? We consult. We ask the client, what do you want? How do you want your hair to be? What's the expectation? So we already talked with Dawn. She likes her curl. She wants to keep it, but she wants to defrizz. She wants to depuff it, okay? So we know right then and there what the expected result is going to be. Alfredo, can I have you actually turn her around so they can watch the application? Thank you. So she wants to defrizz this. She wants to get a really smooth result, but still keep that curl, okay? Now the other thing that we talk about in the consultation is chemical services. So, can this treatment be done with chemicals? What do you guys think? Yes. Do you have a question? No? Yes. Chemicals, bleach, color, toner, highlights, say a relaxer. Maybe she got a perm and she wants to soften her curl. You can do this treatment with any other chemical. Doesn't matter what it is. Now, if she needs to get her roots touched or she wants to do her color, do that first. That's the first thing. So you're gonna put the color on, then you're gonna put the Brazilian Blowout right over top. Now what this does is it seals that cuticle shut, okay? Now, how many of you guys know what a hair shaft looks like that's really damaged under a microscope? Does it look really kind of shut, or is it open? It's open, right? Flared open, it's frizzy. It's kind of like shingles on a roof, but those shingles are up, right? That's the damage. Now what this does is it fills in all the cracks and the imperfections of chemically processed hair. It seals those shingles down and sort of laminates the surface of the hair. So you've got a shut cuticle. So if you just did someone's color and you shut that cuticle and lock it shut, it locks the color in. Instead of once a week, once every 6 to 8 weeks, you may have to refresh that. Sound good? So you can sell it as a color sealer, you can sell it as an anti-frizz treatment, you can sell it as a semi-straightener, okay? Because by the way of the flat iron, how we flat iron the treatment, we can straighten the hair and we can keep some curl in the hair as well, all right? So in the consultation, we talked about 2 things. What was the first? I'm sorry? Chemicals. So when should you do color? What? Before. Always do color before, then do the treatment right after. Now, what is the other thing that we talked about in the consultation? What she wants, her expectation. What did she want? Does she want straight hair? No, she wants to keep that curl, right? She just wants to get rid of her frizz. So we talk about expectation and chemical services. Now, our next step was to wash the hair, all right? So we have, this is solution, but it looks exactly like this. It just says shampoo on it. It's called the anti-residue shampoo. Now it's like our version of a clarifier, but we formulated the pH of the shampoo to be between an 8 and a 9. So it does not strip color. You can still clarify the hair without pulling the color out, okay? You want to shampoo a minimum of 2 times to get a very squeaky clean feel. If you feel like you're working with textures like this, very rough, very coarse, kind of resistant textures, shampoo more times to get a very smooth result, okay? Your minimum was how many times? 2. Now your maximum is not a set number. It is how the hair feels. So if you feel a very dry, kind of gritty feel, that's what you want. You want to cleanse the hair, get anything that's on the hair off, all right? After you wash the hair, you're gonna go into the application, which is where Alfredo is at right now. Since we've caught up to speed, Alfredo started at the nape of the hair, okay? He's working his way towards the front. Notice he's wearing gloves and he's wearing glasses, okay? Just a form of protection for ourselves as well as our client. We want to protect our clients, right? Now this bottle of solution, how much should I say you can make off of it? $8,000 to $10,000, okay? 34 ounces, you should get about 30 to 40 clients out of one bottle. At our salon, Alfredo and I, well, we used to work at the same salon, not anymore now, but we start out at a base price for a Brazilian blowout, costs a minimum of $350. So let's just say we get 35 clients out of this. 350 times 30, I don't know, I don't do math, I do hair. So, but I know that it is $8,000 to $10,000 that you profit off of this, okay? He used, Alfredo, how much solution did you measure out?
Kind of like a sponge, so, no, it's a good thing. She's just gonna set the solution right up. But on this kind of hair, I'm having to spray her hair as I go because her hair is actually drying as I'm going through the process, so I wanna make sure that her hair is damp. I'm guessing that I'm using a ½ ounce, so I'll probably use 1 ounce for her whole head.
Okay, great. So, a couple things that he just talked about. Now remember, if you guys saw her, he took her back, he shampooed her, and he brought her back, and her hair is still wet, okay? This is key. You do not want to apply this solution to dry hair. You always apply it to damp hair. So the amount of moisture that you need in, you do not want it dripping and drenched wet, but you do need moisture in there to help work the solution through, okay? You notice that as each section starts to dry, he sprays it down with some water so that he can use that little amount of solution. Now, sorry, go ahead. Now, he said that on this half of her head, he used ½ ounce, all right? How many of you guys do color? A few of you guys, all right? So this is our measuring cup, right? We go up to 1 full ounce is this top one. He used ½ ounce for that half of her head. So double that, he used a full ounce for the entire head of hair. That's a very small amount of solution for all of this hair, right? Right? But if you notice, what he's doing, his method of application is very important. You do not want to oversaturate this. That's probably the most important part, okay? Putting too much of this solution on the hair will work against you. When you coat the hair so much with all the solution, you're gonna go and you're gonna start to blow dry, and it's gonna be really tough. It's gonna be hard for you to get the hair dry. So what you wanna do is you just wanna lightly dust that product on. You can see what he's doing, he's just lightly dusting it. Now Alfredo did this because he knew that my next step was to show you guys what it looks like if you use too much. That's what it looks like if you use too much, okay? You don't want to see that. Now he applied too much because I like to demonstrate that, and Alfredo and I know that together. So if you guys see that build up in the comb, if you see product dripping all over your cape and all over the floor, too much product. Take a step back and cut back a little bit, okay? Now what's his next step after this treatment or after the application? Blow dry, all right? We're gonna blow dry. Now we're about to come out with a new blow dryer. That's yet to be released, but we did just come out with a nice flat iron and a round brush that I'll talk about right now. This beautiful round brush is something that we just created. We use a wood core and a natural boar bristle, okay? We use wood core, not ceramic. We don't use metal either. Metal and ceramic heats up so hot that it's gonna start to burn the product off of the hair. So if you're round brushing with the metal or ceramic core, you're gonna start to see all this vapor coming off. That's burning the product off. We don't wanna see that, okay? Conduct heat, okay? We use these natural boar bristles because as he starts to round brush that and work that through the hair, it's gonna help distribute it, all right? So remember you guys, this is your liquid gold right here. The more of the liquid gold that you put on somebody, the more that person's going to pay for it. So if you have to use an ounce and a half, you're gonna charge by how much solution you use. It's gonna last her for 3, maybe 4 months, okay? What we guarantee is a minimum of 10 to 12 weeks that this will stay in the hair. And what will happen is it's not like a relaxer. You know when you grow out a relaxer, you get that line of demarcation, and it really sucks to have to grow that out. The ends are really straight, the roots really curly. It's not gonna be like that. This treatment gradually washes out of the entire head of hair, okay? So, Alfredo's done applying the product. He's gonna go straight into the blow dry. What type of brush do we use again? Boar bristle, what kind of core? Wood core. No metal and no ceramic, okay? Now a really key point when you're blow drying, remember, we don't wanna see vapor, we don't wanna see smoke. We wanna keep the blow dryer a couple inches away. So notice that Alfredo's not sticking that blow dryer right on the hair. Really important. If you stick the blow dryer all the way up to the hair and you start to see all this smoke or all this vapor, that's going to take away from the life of your Brazilian blowout. So it's not gonna last a full 10 weeks. It may last for 8 weeks, okay? This is really important that you don't stick the blow dryer directly onto the hair, okay? Her question was, can they come in before the 3 months? So say Dawn gets the treatment today and she wants to come back in 8 weeks, okay? She's like, I want day 1 results again. She's willing to pay for it. By all means, take her money away from her, right? It sounds conniving, but that's what we do. We take money and we make people beautiful, right? So if she wants to come back in 8 weeks, 9 weeks, maybe not the full 10 weeks, maybe if it's not even fully washed out of her hair, do it again. The more and more you do this treatment, the more manageable the hair becomes, okay? Remember, what we're doing to the hair, it's sort of like an old road with a bunch of potholes in it, right? We fill in those potholes, resurface the road, now it's a smooth, strong strand of hair. It doesn't have any cracks, no imperfections. It's creating a reflectiveness, so she has this amazing shine, this amazing softness to her hair, and it builds in health and integrity back into the hair too. One thing that this is not, it's not a keratin treatment. How many of you guys use other keratin treatments? Anybody? Nobody at all? Yeah. What do you use?
Oh no, I don't use that. I tried another one.
You tried another. Which one did you try? What one? Kenra? Kenra Smooth? Okay, cool. All great products, okay? We have a lot of different competitors out there. I would never talk bad about them because we're all smoothing, right? It's designed to smooth the hair. We just have a little bit different ingredients. Now, Kenra Smooth is it's keratin-based product. What we use is an amino acid-based product. Now, the difference is keratin is a little bit larger of a molecule, so it takes a little bit more effort and more work to get it to sit in the hair and for it to actually work. Now, after a keratin treatment, you usually have to wait 24 to 72 hours to get your hair wet, to clip it up, to tie it back. You can't do anything with your hair for 3 days, okay? With this treatment, right after she's done, she can go home, she can wash it, clip it up, tie it back, go in the pool, go to the strip club, join a wet t-shirt contest. She can do whatever she wants, basically, all right? Now, she can do anything she wants. She does not have to wait. That's a big difference. Now, the reason why that is because we use amino acids. Amino acids get sealed in the hair with a flat iron. Keratin has to sit for 3 days for it to harden and for it to actually work. And during those 3 days, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't get it wet, you can't boil pasta, you can't have steam around you, you can't do anything, okay? Completely different treatment. Jim, everybody, you guys live in LA, right? We're all health fanatics, freaks. She's like, no, I'm not a health fanatic. I just had a piece of pizza 10 minutes ago, right? Alfredo has his own technique. Now, you guys can do that if you want. He likes to round brush and then follow up with a paddle brush. Now, notice, though, he's only doing this on this texture of hair. You usually need a little bit more tension to help smooth this type of hair out. So that's why he first round brushes, then follows up with this. But remember, if you're gonna use a paddle brush, which is totally fine, make sure that it has those boar bristles in there. So if you guys see, it has little white nylon bristles on the outside, but also those black bristles, those are boar. So as long as you're using boar in your brush, that's totally fine. The reason why we use that boar is it's gonna help evenly distribute and smooth that hair out, okay? Those boar bristles are tighter together and help give that grip and that tension that's needed to smooth this type of hair out, all right? The shampoo to be between what and what? What is it? 8 and 9, okay? So does the anti-residue shampoo strip color? Does it? No, does not strip color. What's the minimum times that you have to shampoo the hair? 2 times, okay? 2 times you shampoo the hair. After you shampoo the hair 2 times, what are you looking for? What's that feeling that we want to get? Squeaky clean. She hasn't even been sitting down and she knows the answer. Nice catch. All right, squeaky clean, that's what we want. We want to rough up that texture of hair. Textures like this, really coarse, really resistant. If we wanted a smooth, straight result, more shampoos is going to equal a smoother and straighter result. Side note, okay? Now, after we shampoo the hair, we bring her back, we rough dry? No, we apply this treatment to damp hair, right? Now, how much on an average head of hair are we using? Less than an ounce, exactly. So, remember this bottle, 34 ounces. How many clients should you get out of a bottle? 30 to 40 clients out of a bottle, okay? You charge $300, $400 for this treatment, you get 30 to 40 clients, that's $8,000, okay? You can profit a lot off that bottle, so don't over apply. What is the method of actually applying the product? What do we call it when you apply it? Dust it on. You lightly dust this product onto the hair. Do not oversaturate, it's not like color. Saturation is not key with this product. You put a little bit of the product on, comb it through, and then after the application, how long does it process for? No processing time. That was a trick question. No processing time. Right after, he goes straight into his blow dry. Now we use a specific type of round brush. What type? Boar bristle with what type of core?
Wood.
Wood core. What two types of brown brushes do you not use? Not plastic. Ceramic. Do not use metal or ceramic. We use a wood core with a natural boar bristle. Okay? Now, as he's round brushing that product in the hair, remember, we want to dry that product in, all right? If you see a lot of burn off, if you see a lot of vapor, you're burning the product off of the hair. If you see a little bit, that's okay. It's not that big of a deal, but remember, that round brush is really intended to help smooth out that hair before you're going to flat iron. So I just gave you guys the answer to the next question, which is, what's our next step? Flat iron, that's right. That's right. Product, anybody? Here, there you go. Interception. She's like, oh, I got it. All right, any questions at all? Yes, her question is, the glasses, do we give them to the clients while they're getting it done? We recommend using glasses, and the reason why is because we're working with the wet solution, okay? If this solution were to get around and flick in her eye, it's a liability for you, and it's also, Beauty School 101 is what? Protect the client and sanitation, right? So we want to protect our client. This is just a slight safety. I'm going to take these off you, do you mind? Okay, just for a quick second, I want to show. So it's just a regular plastic frame, no prescription lens glasses. These are like $2 or $3. We recommend using those. I'm not glasses police though. I don't walk in your salon and say, you don't not wear glasses, you need to stop, all right? It's not that serious. That work? All right, I'm terrible at that, I'm sorry. Now her question is it a big deal on when you should do the color versus the Brazilian? I always recommend do the color first and immediately follow up with the Brazilian. Why? Because that's gonna lock that cuticle down right after you've done the color. It seals that color in for 6 to 8 weeks longer than it normally would. All right, so Alfredo's almost done with his round brush. Now, one thing that is very key with the round brush is we're not trying to get the spinach straight, smoothest straight look. You still see a little bit of frizz and a little bit of kind of unruliness in the hair while Alfredo's blow drying. That's totally fine. All that's necessary during the blow dry is that you're getting that product through the hair, you're drying it, and you're preparing it to be flat ironed next. The flat iron is really what sets that product in and what makes it seal and actually last, okay? So his next step is he's actually gonna go through and he's gonna flat iron. Alfredo, what temperature do you want your flat iron to be? 440, okay, cool. So let me tell you guys real quick about this flat iron. Like I said, we did come out with our own round brush that Alfredo's using right there. Amazing brush. It has about 30% more bore than you would find in one of your high-end round brushes. How many of you guys use boar bristle round brushes? A few of you guys? So the high-end round brushes that you would normally find, we created this brush with about 30% more bore. So what that means is more tug, more tension, and more distribution. It's gonna help you guys smooth this hair out a little bit better, okay? We created this flat iron to go hand in hand with the split end repair, which is this stage right here, and also our smoothing treatment, okay? This flat iron has some cool kind of geeky features about it that I really like. It has a heat resistant cord, so this is at 450, it's not gonna melt. Has titanium plates, okay? We don't recommend using ceramic plates because they are a little porous. And when you're working with treatments that have like a solution or a chemical, after about 6 to 10 treatments, you get a little bit of line of product on that plate. So we always recommend using titanium. It also has little ducts on the side, so there's no way of getting moisture or solution in and ruining your flat iron. Any questions at all? Nothing? Yeah. Yeah. And she doesn't think it worked because she thinks she didn't use enough product. All right? What is the difference between dusting and using the right amount? How do you know if you put enough solution on, right? So our technique, what we call it a light dusting technique, right? That's how we apply. What you're looking for after you dusted that product on the hair is you're looking for a glazed finish, okay? It looks like you just glossed the hair. But remember, if you're applying the product and then you're combing it through and you see that build up in your comb, you see a bunch of product all over your comb, how much is that too much? That's way too much. You don't want to see that buildup, but you do want to see it from root through the end, full gloss look. That's what you're looking for. Okay? Make sense? Yeah? Okay, what's your next question? Oh, okay. I'm like, your clients telling you how many times I wash their hair? That's amazing. They know by now what their hair is like. So what we recommend, what's the minimum times you have to clarify the hair before you start? 2 is the minimum, right? Remember, when you're working with textures like this that are very unruly, very hard to get smooth, more shampoos equals a smoother result, okay? I'll tell you a couple things though. Now these are the most common things that are done improperly to where the treatment did not work. I'll go through it real quick. So, over-applying solution is going to work against you. When you use too much solution, it coats the hair and you're sitting there blow drying forever. You're burning all the product off. That's going to shorten the life of your Brazilian. So overuse is actually going to work against you. That's number 1. Number 2 is if you don't clarify enough, you don't get all the oils, if you don't get all the excess product, anything on the hair, you don't get it off and you apply the solution, it's not going to adhere. Or it may adhere and it may not last for the full 10 to 12 weeks. So properly clarifying is huge. Now the other thing within the clarifying process is a lot of people just rinse real quick and they think the shampoo's out. Big no-no, okay? The shampoo really hides in the hair and it gets stuck in the hair. So it's really important to do about a 1 to 2 minute rinse after you're done clarifying, and be sure to section and look through the hair and make sure you don't see any shampoo bubbles. It's huge. You'll know if you have shampoo in the hair because when you start to apply and you blow dry the product, it's gonna feel kind of gummy, okay? You don't wanna feel that, okay? Those are a couple things that are most commonly done wrong. Now the other thing is, and I actually didn't go over this. This is a shame on me part, okay? This bottle has a lot of our buffering agent and it has a lot of our active, right? Unless you shake this bottle, it's gonna affect the life of your Brazilian. So this is huge, okay? I don't know why I missed this part, shame on me. You guys gotta shake this bottle and it's just leaking out. I don't know why it's leaking out. What'd you do to your bottle? Shake the bottle, very important, okay? That's another one. Now the last thing that's most commonly done wrong is people use the wrong type of brush. What's the wrong type of brush? What was it? Metal and ceramic. So when you use a metal core and a ceramic brush, it burns the product off of the hair. Seeing all that smoke and all that vapor come off is a bad thing. You don't want to see that, okay? If you see a little bit, that's okay, but all this smoke surrounding your station, hovering over your station, it's not a good thing. That means you're burning the product off and it's gonna affect the life of your Brazilian. Those are most common things that are done wrong. Please, it's kind of important. You guys don't have to have this, but I love using this as a point of reference. So let's talk about how you customize the treatment, all right? So Alfredo's using his flat iron. This is the step that you customize the treatment. The application, the blow dry, the shampoo, it's the same across the board for every client. When you get into this flat iron portion, this is how you tailor and customize it for different people. Now, these are 4 different things that you guys do to customize the treatment. The tension that you use, the amount of passes that you take, the section size, and the temperature of your flat iron. So by using more heat, more tension, thinner sections, and more passes, you get a straighter result. By using less heat, thicker sections, less passes, and less tension, you retain more curl in the hair. Does that make sense? So it's 4 different steps that you do. Now Alfredo, let's talk about your customization and how you're actually doing your treatment. So I know that you're using 440, okay? Now, when you're using 440, are you going all the way through her ends, or are you stopping at her ends?
Once I got into the hair, she has virgin hair, so I decided to do 450 because I mean with Dawn's kind of hair, even though I'm giving her a pretty strong Brazilian, she's going to maintain her curl. Her hair is not going to be straight, but I just want to bring it down. I mean, I noticed her hair was really expanding when I got into the blow dry part. So I'm doing about like 8 to 10 passes from roots and mid lengths and about 6 on her ends at 450 degrees. But my sections, I'm doing like 1/8 inch paper thin sections on her, very small sections.
Awesome. So you guys just heard his formula. We like to call it a formula, just like you guys would do color. You know, you're a client of mine, you come in, you get a 6RR with the 5G and mix in it, and I keep that color formula because if sometimes you come back and you say, I love that, do it again. I know exactly what I did. Same thing for this. So he's using 450 degrees, he's taking 1/8 of an inch sections, he's passing through 8 to 10 passes from the root to the mid-length. Through the ends, he's passing 6 passes. How many of you guys can tell me why he changed his passes from the root to the mid-length to the ends? Does anybody know why? Yeah. More porous at the ends and what? Fragile, more damaged, okay? These ends on anyone's hair are the most damaged. They've been through the most processing. They're the most porous ends of the hair. And doing the same amount of passes from root to mid-length as you would to the ends, you're gonna end up over-processing those ends, okay? So it's really important. You would use, say we have someone that's platinum blonde, right? Would anybody use 450 degrees on a platinum blonde? No, why? You're gonna break off their hair, right? So you wanna use a temperature, first and foremost, that's designed for that type of hair, that they can actually take that heat and take that temperature. And with those ends, if you're ever concerned on if it's too much heat, too much temperature, take it back. Now, these are a couple key points. The lowest temperature that you can go to actually still seal the product in is 380 degrees. That's the lowest, okay? If you go 370, 360, the product will not work, okay? 380 is the minimum, 450 is the maximum. Now the amount of passes that you do through each section, a minimum of 4 to 5 passes and a maximum of 15 to 20 passes, okay? So you have all that room in between to do more passes, more heat, more tension, and thinner sections to get a straighter result. Or if you wanted to keep all of her curl and she doesn't have a really strong curl pattern, you can do thick sections, lower heat, less tension, and less passes. Does that make sense? Yeah? So, couple things that Alfredo's doing. Now, if you guys notice when he's at her root, he taps the flat iron. He does this little number, okay? The reason why he does that is because of the curl pattern and the texture of her hair grows out of her scalp like this, right? It's crazy. So he pulls it with some tension and he taps it. Now, if you held it there, you're gonna end up burning the client. We tap it, we pull out like that to still get that hair straighter and smoother without damaging or burning the client's scalp, all right? That's really important. Now the other thing is that he's really focusing on those ends. When he gets to those ends, he slows down a bit and bevels the ends under just to seal that product in, okay? Those are two key points that he's really doing with this particular client. At all. We're all professionals now? Yeah.
Formaldehyde?
Formaldehyde. Oh, how many of you guys have heard the negative controversy that surrounded Brazilian Blowout 3 years ago? Okay, well let's start with this. It was 3 years ago. Okay, so it's water under the bridge. It's kind of been swept under the rug, and for a reason. Why? Because what it came down to was proper usage. All right. This is one thing that we had to do. Now, on our old bottles of solution, it said formaldehyde free. We took that off. Okay. We also put pumps on our bottle for a reason, to regulate the amount of solution that comes out. And we put a little sticker on the back of the bottle to make sure that everybody knows that the active ingredient in this solution, called methylene glycol, when it's combined with the heat of the flat iron and the oxygen surrounding you, it emits a formaldehyde gas, okay? Now, do we put formaldehyde in this solution? No, we never have, we never will, we've never reformulated our product, we never had to. Because what it came down to was our active was not formaldehyde, okay, it's a methylene glycol, but it's a natural occurring reaction that it releases a formaldehyde gas. If you use the proper amount of solution, which is what? What's the proper amount?
Less than 1 ounce.
Less than an ounce. If you use less than an ounce of solution, you're applying it right to the right type of hair, and you're not sitting your blow dryer on there, and you're not burning all the product off, you don't have any issues with the product. If you're using, now the reason why the controversy started was because stylists were overusing. They were used to doing color, and when we do color, we saturate, right? We put it on there, we saturate, we really get the hair, make sure that it has a ton of product on. So I went back into salons to retrain these people that were doing it wrong, and I said, how much solution are you using? And they're like, oh, 5, 6 ounces. I'm like, whoa, 5 or 6 ounces is about 5 or 6 times the amount that you're supposed to use. So let's think about Tylenol, right? You take 2 Tylenol, it gets rid of your headache, it increases blood circulation, okay? But if you take 30 Tylenol, you're gonna go to the hospital and you're an idiot, right? Okay? So really what it comes down to is use the proper amount, do not over apply the solution, and you'll never have an issue with the product whatsoever. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, of course. Did I answer everybody's sort of question there? Yeah? Cool. Certified. Okay, great question. So in order to do this treatment, in order to buy our product, you have to be certified and you have to be a licensed cosmetologist. Okay? Once you're a licensed cosmetologist, what you do next is sit through a class demonstration like this. So now that you guys have all sat here, you guys have all listened to me talk and ramble on for an hour and a half, ask these great questions, you're all certified. You, all of you guys are certified, okay? Now that you're certified, what I recommend you do, let me see. Love to see that. Oh my gosh. Looks amazing. Look at that hair. Does anybody want to come up and feel her hair? Feel it, lick it, put it in your mouth. Oh, just kidding. Don't do that. You can feel it. All right, it's not. Just grab one from up there. So. Oh, the power. I just want to show you real quick. Come back up here. So, thank you guys for those of you guys that stuck around to see the final result. Now, Alfredo just wanted to rough dry it very quickly to show you guys what no time and no effort, what result she got. Remember, she wanted to keep the curl in her hair. So what we did is we maintained that curl, and he just rough dried this. But you can see her hair actually grew. It's a little bit longer. I mean, it didn't technically grow, but it looks longer, and we don't have this puff and this frizz anymore. Her frizz is 100% gone. She maintained her curl. What I would do for her in the salon different would probably be either diffuse her or just scrunch dry her with a little bit of product and let her go.